Good morning, good morning. I am Henry Hall, principal here at Berkner High School, and I want to start by welcoming you all to Berkner High School and the beginning of STEM for All for the entire feeder pattern. I'd like to begin by recognizing our special guests in attendance today. When I say your name or group, please stand and be recognized. With us this morning is our RSD Board of Trustees, Board President, Mr. Justin Bono, Vice President, Ms. Kristen Kuhn, Treasurer, Kim Caston, Secretary, Katie Patterson, and board members Jean Bono and Karen Clardy. Also with us, we have executives and representatives from Texas Instruments, executives and representatives from Educate Texas, elected and appointed officials and executives from the city of Richardson and from the state of Texas, Richardson ISD Central Administration, and I didn't forget about you, the most important people in the room, the students, staff, and principals of all of the schools in the Berkner feeder pattern. So this morning, some of our guests will briefly share with us the importance of STEM-based education and its impacts here in RSD and beyond. First up is one of our guests from Educate Texas, which is a group focused on bringing large-scale change to Texas public schools. So please join me in welcoming the Managing Director of Educate Texas, Mr. George Tang.
Good morning, everybody. I cannot tell you how excited I am about today's incredible announcement. Oh my gosh, I feel the energy when I walked in, and I still feel it now. Thank you, students, for coming out. I know you miss being in class. Well, you guys are what this day is all about, so thank you for joining us. I'm so excited because this past weekend I had a recent birthday, and I got a chance to think a little bit about the past and reflect on what has happened. And I've also had a chance to think about the future. And as I recalled, my parents ended up coming to the United States as immigrants in the 1960s. They decided to raise their family here in Dallas, and they trusted that the public education system would ensure that my sister and myself would have a solid education foundation that would prepare us for great futures. Through incredible teachers and principals and administrators and a wonderful supporting community, my sister and I were able to pursue our American dream. As I think about the future and this STEM for All initiative that we're announcing today, I think about all of you in this auditorium and the 10,000 students across this Berkner feeder pattern, and I can't help but be inspired to think that one, if not many of you, are going to be the next Jeff Bezos, the next Sheryl Sandberg, the next Eugene McDermott. You all are going to be the inventors and creators of the jobs of the future. And what I know is that this work that we're talking about is going to help give you all greater awareness of all of the things that are happening in this 21st century marketplace. You're going to have a better understanding of the skills and experiences that you need, and you're going to have access to the opportunities of this future. And so I'm super excited to be a part of this wonderful day. We've demonstrated that by embedding STEM learning into pre-K through 12, that we can actually achieve great things. In 2012, we partnered with Lancaster ISD and the Texas Instruments Foundation to do exactly this. We helped to spread our STEM practices across an entire district. We've learned over the past 6 years that now our students in Lancaster, who were 86% economically disadvantaged, are now outperforming the state in math and science. And so today, our team, which is led by Dr. Rio Pruitt, is now thrilled to be partnering and directing the Texas Instruments Foundation and our team to partner with Richardson to accomplish this great goal. We have incredible confidence in the plan that Superintendent Stone and her team have put forward. This vision for STEM for All is incredible. We know that the board is committed and supportive of this vision that has been planned by the administration and this wonderful team of principals, leaders, and teachers across this Berkner feeder pattern. And most importantly, this Richardson community is united and behind the vision that we can ensure that all of our kids from these 80 different countries across this feeder pattern can have the opportunities to pursue their own American dream. And so I want to finally recognize and acknowledge the Texas Instruments Foundation for their partnership, their collaboration, and their generosity. Specifically, I'd love to just call out Andy Smith, Louis McMahon, and Terri West. You all have been phenomenal partners. And have demonstrated great trust in us and in Richardson ISD. And for more than 65 years, the TI Foundation has stood strong in its belief that the community is its strongest asset. And today, more than ever, they stand alongside us to ensure that our kids and our community thrive. And so please join me in welcoming Terri West, the chairman of the Texas Instruments Foundation.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. La, 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 la.
Principal Hall, where are you? I never thought I'd ask this, but can I come back to high school? What a reception and what a group this morning. Thank you, George, for your kind words. Innovation is the lifeblood at TI, so I don't think it comes as any surprise to anyone in this room that we believe in the power of technology to change lives. And that's why STEM education is the highest priority for the Texas Instruments Foundation, and that's why the foundation is granting $4.6 million over the next 3 years to propel STEM expertise in the Berkner feeder pattern. We know that great STEM education, especially when it starts early, plants the seeds for future innovation by opening doors to students, doors that might not otherwise be open to successful careers and to technology. And we also know that teachers have an extraordinary impact on the passions and the pathways that students choose. And that's why a big part of this grant is targeted for teacher development in math, science, and engineering. And we also know that STEM is fun. A rock star at TI is a geek. And what begins as fun often leads to a lifelong passion for changing the world through technology. Now, this is the second time we've made a grant like this to a school district. The first was in Lancaster ISD in southern Dallas County, and we've been exceptionally pleased with the results that we've seen there. Math and science scores in Lancaster went from the lowest to the highest in southern Dallas County school districts in just a handful of years. Post-secondary learning pathways have been opened, and more kids coming out of Lancaster High School are choosing college studies in STEM fields. And just as importantly, we've seen Lancaster students truly believe that they can accomplish great things in STEM areas. Now, we also know from that experience that to be successful in this area really takes the entire community pulling in the same direction. It takes the schools, takes the district, takes the school board, takes the parents, the students, and perhaps most importantly, the teachers. I can't tell you how thrilled we are to see the enthusiasm in this room today, and we are truly looking forward to seeing what great things you'll do and how you're going to take this program forward and have one of the best STEM programs in Texas. So with that, I will turn this over to Alcantar, who is the chairman of the Texas Workforce Commission.
Morning, everyone. What a great day. $4.6 million, unbelievable. Thank you, Chairman West. Thank you and the Texas Instruments Foundation for all that you do to empower, to strengthen STEM education all around Texas and all around the globe. To Educate Texas and to Richardson, congratulations for coming together and joining up with Texas Instruments. I was there 6 years ago in Lancaster when a similar announcement was made. The beauty of that day really is very clear in my mind. What is also clear is that Texas Instruments was there that day, but they were there 6 months later. They were there a year later. They're still there today working with Educate Texas and Lancaster to really power and build a brighter future for the students in that school district, making it a more vibrant community, increasing the possibilities. What we're here today is to celebrate you. It's a ramtastic day, isn't it? It certainly is. Today, there is a global semiconductor design and manufacturing company where an individual that's recently graduated, a first-generation student, a female, has gone to work and is really transforming the way in which they serve hundreds of thousands of customers. Today, there is somebody working in North Texas on an aerospace system, really building the next generation of fighter jets to protect our democracy. Today, there is a company where a new biotech and life science solution is being deployed by a student who one day was inspired and believed because of their mentoring and support from their teachers, their school board, and their principals, that they could dream it and be it. Today, there is a group of young new entrants into the workforce working with mentors, people that have been trying to solve and deliver a solution to cure cancer and a number of other major issues of the day in healthcare. In our fracking units and in our wind system that really dots this state, there are new entrants into the workforce who were really emboldened by really understanding the relevance of math and science in the classroom to what these wonderful skills and occupations required for success in that sector of our economy would be necessary to succeed, and they've done that. They provided our country with energy independence. They provided us with a greater national security. They are transforming the way in which geopolitics works in our country. Tomorrow, you, as students here, will begin developing the skills through new frameworks where your teachers will have even greater capabilities. They've always had the passion. They've always had the commitment to you. Through these investments, they will learn new ways to build a stronger system where the people in this community can go out there and really pursue dreams, be wildly successful, disrupt the way in which we live, the way in which we play, the way in which we listen to music, the way in which we have fun, the way in which we solve the major issues of the day. I congratulate you. I look forward to your discussions, because they will be informative in terms of how we do this work together and build a brighter future for these wonderful students here today. It is now my honor to introduce to you Mayor of Richardson, Mayor Berkner. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today. What a day for Berkner High School and all the feeder schools. You guys rock. When asked to come to this, I was like, heck yes. Superintendent Stone told me about the application process, and when I first heard about that, the first thing I did was I went and talked to the mayor of Lancaster, and I said, what impact has this had on your community? And he could not have been more gracious, more complimentary, and more excited about the activities that happened there. So as a mayor of Richardson, and just in case people questioned, I do not run the schools, I only run the city, but we are blessed as a city to host some of the highest tech companies in the world. I'll mention TI here in a little bit, but my big job as mayor is to kind of sell and help retain the employers that are in this city, most of which are high tech, the likes of TI, of Raytheon, and others. And they make decisions about where they want to be as an employer based on many things, but almost always, first among that discussion is what is the educational system like in the city we're putting our employees in. And it's not just because they want you to go through programs like this and become potential employees, it's because they want their kids to have opportunity for the future. So they want to put them in a system that will help them achieve some of the same things they as parents have had. If you think about it, many of you might have parents, most likely grandparents, that were engineers at Texas Instruments. We are absolutely blessed to have a relationship with TI. TI borders Richardson to the south and to the north. If you're not familiar, almost all of the TI information technology professionals are on the Renner Road campus in Richardson, Texas. A possible career opportunity for all of you sitting in this room. I'm a geek, I'm a technology guy, so instead of having an autograph of, Tony Romo or somebody like that in my office, I have something much more special. There's a wafer in my office with Jack Kilby's signature on it. What a rock star he is, and I think there's probably a Jack Kilby sitting here today. And that's something that all of you should potentially achieve and try to be. I want to thank Dr. Stone, Mr. Justin Bono, for the invitation to be here, the board. The working relationship we have from a city to a school district is amazing. My Mayor Pro Tem, Mark Solomon, is responsible for our education committee, so it meets quite often with the different school districts, and specifically here, I think he has a relationship of some sort with this particular school, so he wears green all the time, that's all I can tell you. And I'd like to thank the teachers. You inspire, you lead, you motivate. You're the one that's going to help make that next rock star. And I want to especially thank you, the students. I know it was mentioned that you're not in class right now, but as soon as you get back, think about what you hear today. Think about the opportunities that are in front of you, and make sure you truly understand why the study of math, science, technology, engineering could really make a big difference in your life, your career, and where you may end up living. And when you make that final decision about where you want to work and where you want to live, I want you to know you have an open invitation to stay right here in Richardson, Texas. Thank you very much. Let's get the principal hall right back up here, all right?
That song's actually fitting because, someone giving us $4.6 million, that is what I like. So for those of you who don't know the song, Shazam it later. All right, so on behalf of the students and staff and the entire Berkner feeding pattern, we would like to again thank the Texas Instrument Foundation for that generous donation of $4.6 million and the Educate Texas for helping us with the management of how to utilize those funds. So we're very excited about that. Many people may wonder why the Berkner feeder pattern. Well, for those of you who do not know, the Berkner feeder pattern actually mirrors that of the state in both demographics and in student performance. So the students that walk in and out of our doors in each and every one of our campuses are very reflective of the entire state of Texas. And we know that we work very, very hard to reach those students, but we know we need to do more to ensure that all of them connect, learn, grow, and succeed. So Berkner High School for the past 10 years has had a STEM academy that's a school within a school. So about 400 of our students are experiencing STEM-based education, but it is limited to only those 400 students. So ultimately with this grant, that's going to allow these experiences to be expanded. All students grades pre-K through 12, which is about 10,000 students, and we're very, very excited for the things that we have in store for you. Today, we want to provide you with a behind-the-scenes look at just a few of those possibilities. So I hope you're ready to have your mind blown, and for the 6th and 7th graders out there, get ready to see what the future awaits you. For current Berkner High School students in our STEM Academy in attendance today, you wanted to represent your show? Hey. It's our STEM ambassador extraordinaire right there. He said, Mr. Hall, can I represent STEM? Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so for the current Berkner students, your classes will be progressively transformed to include more project-based learning, so you'll have more opportunities to take new and different classes. We will be utilizing a design process which will allow you to demonstrate your mastery in new and innovative ways. But now I need a little help from someone who's going to make this greatness happen. One of the current STEM instructors here at Berkner High School, Mr. Omar Pastrana. So come on out, Mr. Pastrana, and show the students what we have waiting for them. He's excited too.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you so much.
The
Like he said, my name's Omar Pastrana. I am the STEM engineering and robotics teacher here at Berkner High School. One of the most exciting things about this is what's going to be changing for us inside of our classrooms as teachers, as well as what we're going to be doing for our students. We're going to be going to specific trainings. I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun, students, but it does sound for teachers. Specific training is going to be preparing our students for better preparation for their careers in STEM fields. And it'll help us get real-life examples in our classrooms so that we can be preparing our students for their future. Now, in every class, like Mr. Hall said, we're going to be using the Rams United design process. This is going to help our students, our teachers, and our parents kind of bring all of it together in a positive, focused approach to how we're going to take on any challenge or problem. In English class, they'll be writing persuasively. In science, they'll be looking at and analyzing weather patterns. In social studies, when they're talking about the impact of the Roman Empire and how it's affected us modern day, or when we're talking about Pythagorean theorem, that's math. We're talking about Pythagorean theorem and how it's everywhere. They're going to be using this design process, and they're going to be using it every day, in every class, and it's going to help them learn grit, tenacity, and of course, attention to detail. Now, because of this grant, we're going to have all of our students, not just the 400, we will be able to explore high-paying STEM careers. Whether they're becoming a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or something else, they're going to be having a total of this future future-ready outcomes. And those future-ready outcomes are going to prepare them for their future. They're going to have these essential skills that every employer is going to be desiring.
Okay. Let's get to
Am I
the
boring?
fun stuff. Enough talking
don't
about
like it?
all of that. Let's just show them some of the things
Okay.
that they're going to get to experience.
Okay. Let's talk about what the students are going to be doing. You ready? So, because of this grant, the future is going to look something like this. In the biotechnology strand, this is where the cutting edge scientists are, right? All the way at the elementary school level, the students are going to be exposed to biology and, of course, working with plants. What can you tell me about this plant structure?
Well, this is a self-contained ecosystem that we can test and see how different types of plants interact and tries to survive in its ecosystem, basically.
So, how do you want to use this to change the world?
Well, I want to use this in the future to make plants and food available to different types of countries that don't have a lot of food.
Oh, that's pretty nice. And then at the junior high, the students are going to be able to explore the underlying reasons of why things work the way they do. So, how does this biotechnology excite you?
Well, when I get sick and take medicine, it's amazing to think about all the things that are going on inside my body to help fight and make me better.
And in this career path, you get to explore that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I learn all about how the body handles and reacts to medicine, and in fact, when I'm older, I'd like to make medicines to fight serious illnesses.
Ooh. And then they go into high school, and at the high school, they get to use high-tech instruments. And these high-tech instruments just take their curiosity even further. So what are you going to college to study?
Well, I know farming may not seem very interesting, but through different types of farming, we can learn how the genes of each plant can interact with each other and how they interact with the environment so that we can program them to be more efficient in different environments where it might not be.
And, and so what are you working on right now? What are you working on right now to prepare you for that?
So this is a PCR machine, and what it does is it duplicates and replicates certain DNA strands so that we can run diseases such as cancer and run tests to see how we can make better, new, efficient ways to get rid of those type of diseases.
Wow, give him a round of applause, give him a round of applause.
That's awesome.
So in the engineering and robotics pathway, the students have heavily hands-on learning environments. They are geared towards building, drawing, and programming solutions for challenging problems. What is the latest project you've been working on?
In science, we learned about space, and we had to make...
Here you go.
Sorry. In science, we learned about space and had to make habitats for Mars. I used my engineering class to build and design it.
So your class, your lessons kind of overlap and they all kind of run together?
Yeah, it's great because my learning feels more real now. It all ties together, and it helps me focus.
Ooh. All right. So one of the essential tools for any of the engineering is for them to be able to take an idea from their head and communicate to the people that they work with. So what ideas are you creating?
Well, using a 3D printer, I can print and test my prototypes. This is a built-in water filter with a lot of components that are, well, 3D printed.
So why did you choose this invention?
In social studies and English, we were learning about people that don't have water like we do, and so I decided to meet that need and create something that could help them.
Awesome, awesome. Give me a round of applause for that.
That's great.
Now, through the support of the grant, the engineering robotics strand can venture into brand new places. These seniors decided to build an underwater robot to fully explore that career path. Why go underwater?
Well, much of the ocean is unexplored, and there are potentially life-changing discoveries. Additionally, robots have less physical restrictions than we do, so that makes them the ideal tool for exploring places inaccessible to humans.
And what skills have you developed or worked on to get there?
Yeah, so since elementary school, we've been learning programming and designing in 3D and making all these prototypes to help build our skills. And it was because of this project that we were able to take our learning even further and combine all the skills we've learned so far.
And so all that learning, there was probably a lot of failure, yeah?
Yes, actually, but that helps prepare us for our future careers as engineers. We've been taught that failure is just part of the job, but it's really exciting when we finally find a solution.
Thank you so much. Give them a round of applause. All right. So the future of our feeder pattern brings aviation and aeronautical science, all grade levels be doing that, inspiring students, allowing them to explore, and eventually cultivating a passion into a career, creating the next pilots and aircraft engineers, as you can plainly see. I heard that you model airplanes in class?
Yeah, we make different kinds to see how each one works.
And how have you connected with the high school?
We've had high school students come to our school and show us the projects that they're working on, and I think it'd be really cool to become an aerospace engineer when I grow up.
Ooh. So we're talking biotechnology, we're talking engineering and robotics. The airplane's been around for a while. What's still so fascinating about it?
Well, who didn't want to grow up being a superhero and fly? In class, each day we learn about how the math and science come together to make huge airplanes fly effortlessly.
And what kind of tools do you use to test your ideas?
We use wind tunnels to test the aerodynamics of the planes and see how they fly.
And that helps with fuel efficiency?
Yes, that means using less gas and saving you more money.
Yes. So one big part of this program is working towards your private pilot's license. These students have been working to become a pilot. Why fly a plane?
The main reason is because it's fun, but in terms of a career, Boeing needs 200,000 mechanics and pilots in the workforce.
And so one of those tools you use to train is a flight simulator?
Yes, we use these flight simulators to train us on missions that are designed to teach us the skills of takeoff, landing, cross-country flight, and flying the traffic pattern.
But you also learn about aeronautical science and designing airplanes?
Of course we do. We participated in the Gamma Aviation Design Challenge, where we designed a digital aircraft to fly a certain mission with set performance requirements.
And what are you doing?
I can fly this plane and land it.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Woo! Hi, I'm not Shirley. I'm Dr. Jeannie Stone, and I am the very, very proud today Superintendent of Richardson ISD. And I'm going to kind of close out this portion of our morning by, my goodness, did you all hear $4.6 million? Oh my goodness, we have been dreaming about this for a long, long time. Of course, we're here in Berkner High School, where they have a STEM Academy, as several people have told you, and we have 400 students right now in a small little portion of this high school. But we had a dream that we would turn that into a whole feeder pattern, 10,000 students. That is quite a big deal whenever you take something that's 400 students and turn it into a whole feeder pattern of 10,000 students. We couldn't do it without partners like Texas Instruments, Educate Texas, Communities Foundation of Texas. We couldn't do it without them. And we are so thrilled today to accept this grant and to take it and to make you very, very proud. So I want you to think about this for a second. Okay, so over here we have some of our elementary school students, and they have ideas about science and engineering, math, technology, but we're going to expand that to the entire feeder pattern. These kids over here, they're in high school. They already know a lot of what they're going to do, and I'm going to tell you about one amazing story in just a second. But think about it this way. Whenever our kids get into elementary school at kindergarten, this whole idea is going to start, as they begin to be exposed to amazing things through their teachers who are going to be trained, and everything will be through the lens of STEM for the very first time. As they go through elementary, and again, 13 of our elementary schools, and they get to junior high, that will just carry over to Liberty and Apollo. Let me hear it out there, Liberty and Apollo. Liberty and Apollo Junior High, where they will then take everything that they've learned in elementary school and they will really begin to have all kinds of exploration that will be meaningful to take them on to high school, with the goal that whenever they get to high school, they'll be making choices that will really carry them in on to the future to have a career in STEM, so that we can take all of the jobs at Texas Instruments and fill all of the pipeline across our state and the country where it's needed in the area of STEM careers. I want to tell you about one student that I've had the opportunity to meet in the last few days. So I'm going to ask Jet if he will come up here. So I got to meet Jet. Jet was the student who gave me my lesson in the flight simulator. He was very patient and with me and my learning gap there. But Jet, and it's no coincidence, his real name is Jet. Okay? I learned the story of whenever he was born, his father, literally, this is a true story, held him in his arms and said, "You, son, will be a pilot." And today, Jet already has his pilot's license. He can fly a Cessna, and last summer, he went on a 3-hour solo flight. I don't know how his mom lived through it, but he went on a 3-hour solo flight by himself, and he is licensed to fly airplanes. So, yes. I would love for Jet to tell you just a little bit more about what he plans to do in his 2 remaining years of high school. Did I mention he's just a sophomore? He still has 2 remaining years of high school, and then what he plans to do beyond that when he goes to college and a career. Jet.
So I get asked this question a lot. What next after a pilot's license? Well, of course, now I got to work on my ratings. During high school, I'm going to work on my IFR ratings, my multi-engine ratings, and I am going to become a commercial pilot, hopefully by the end of 12th grade year. Now, what after high school? Well, I plan to go to Baylor, and there's an aviation program in Baylor, right? And I can get aligned with a small airline, for example, Cape Air, and I can start working my way up in the ranks of aviation. And after a few years or so after that, I can maybe move on to a bigger airline like American Airlines or Atlas Air, and that would be the dream for me.
Yes, thank you. Oh, you can hold that. So, Jet, at the age of 19, will be able to fly what size of plane?
I will be able to fly a 747 by the age of 19 once I graduate.
By the age of 19, he'll be able to fly a 747. Now, I want you to think about that for just a second, okay? Think about that for just a second, and the vision that Jet's father had with him as he held him in his arms and he said, "You, my son, will be a pilot." He had a vision for him and his future that is now you can see he's living out. His initials are also, by the way, J-E-T. They meant serious business. But that vision that Jet's family had for him is the same kind of thinking that I want us to really think about in terms of the vision that we will have for every single student in this entire feeder pattern. This is a big deal, y'all. This is what we call transformation. That's when you have a vision for a student when they enter in at pre-K, and then we help to grow that vision for all of the years that we have in elementary, junior high, and high school so that when they graduate with a plan and a purpose for what they're going to do for the rest of their lives in a STEM career. That's what today is all about. Is that not the most, are you not as excited as I am? So, what I want everyone to know is that the work that Texas Instruments, the foundation, does, Educate Texas, Community Foundation of Texas, what all of these wonderful people who are sitting up front, what they do, the work that they do, it's so much more than $4.6 million. Because what they're really giving us, you can't put a price tag on, and that is a belief in all of the students that are sitting here. All of the students are sitting here. You can't put a price tag on belief, and for that, we will again make you very, very proud. You have our commitment on that one. So, what I would like to do is have the students stand. And again, I would just like everyone in the room, by a show of applause, students, I don't want you to clap. All of the adults, everyone who's here to support these students, I would like you to give your applause to the students as a show of our belief in all of them. Thank you. I have no doubt that our students are going to make us and all of these wonderful partners very proud, and we thank you for your generous, did I say $4.6 million? We're going to do great things with that. So as we wrap up our program this morning, I do want to again thank Texas Instruments, their foundation, Educate Texas, and Communities Foundation of Texas. Let's give all three of them a first round of applause. In just a few minutes, students, all of you who are in blue t-shirts, you're really going to be thanking this next partner, our STEM partner, Discovery Education, because for every single one of you in a blue t-shirt, they have provided a really nice, decadent cupcake. So thank you to Discovery Education. Also, I know I mentioned sugar, and you can have it in just a second. Also, for those behind the scenes that made today possible, our communications department and our maintenance and facilities, the Berkner staff, and all of the principals who brought out all of our kids, our transportation department, and to the last person that I so often thank last because she's the first person who steps up and does so much of the work, Tabitha Branham. Can we give a big thanks to all of those individuals? So, as we close up today, we want to invite any and all of you to come up on stage, talk with some of our amazing students, hear about their plans for the future, let them show you their experience that they have up here on the stage. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. As a show of your belief in our students, we're going to make you proud. 3 words, STEM for all, and we even have the t-shirt to prove it. Thank you.